Hi, Bonnie Tyler here.
It defined an era suddenly falls silent. How does the world say goodbye to a woman whose raspy, soulful vocals became the soundtrack to millions of lives? On the 8th of July 2026, the music world lost one of its most iconic voices. Bonnie Tyler, the Welsh powerhouse behind Total Eclipse of the Heart, Holding Out for a Hero, and It's a Heartache, passed away at the age of 75. Her family announced the heartbreaking news on her official website. Bonnie's family and team are heartbroken to announce that Bonnie unexpectedly passed away last night in hospital in Portugal as a result of the illness that she was being treated for. But who was the woman behind that unforgettable voice? What was the secret to her 2-year marriage to a former Olympic judoka? Why did she never have children? And how did a botched surgery accidentally create the husky voice that made her famous? Stay with us as we explore the extraordinary life, enduring legacy, and final journey of Bonnie Tyler. Cause of death. Let me address the question at the top. What killed Bonnie Tyler? Bonnie Tyler died on the 8th of July 2026 at a hospital in Faro, Portugal, following an illness for which she was undergoing treatment. She was 75 years old. Her final health battle began in May 2026. Tyler suffered a ruptured appendix, prompting emergency surgery in Portugal. Her representatives later clarified that she had been hospitalized for an urgent operation due to a gastrointestinal perforation. While the surgery was initially described as successful, complications arose. Portuguese media reported that Tyler was placed in a medically induced coma following post-operative complications. The singer was placed into a coma after having emergency intestinal surgery in Portugal. Last month, her spokesperson said she was out of the coma but remained very unwell and in intensive care. Her condition worsened, and on the night of the 8th of July 2026, she passed away unexpectedly. Her family's official statement continued, "We will issue a further statement shortly, but for now, ask for privacy to deal with this tragedy." Early life, from Gaynor Hopkins to Bonnie Tyler. Bonnie Tyler was born Gaynor Hopkins on the 8th of June 1951 in Skewen, a small village in South Wales. She was the eldest of 3 sisters in a working-class family. Her father was a coal miner. Her mother was a homemaker. Young Gaynor grew up singing in the church choir and listening to her father's record collection, which included the powerful voices of Janis Joplin and Tina Turner. In her youth, Tyler was inspired by the powerful rock styles of Janis Joplin and Tina Turner. She dreamed of becoming a singer. At 16, she left school to pursue that dream. She entered local talent contests. She sang in pubs and nightclubs. She was determined to make it. But her big break would come in a way she never expected. The accidental voice, how surgery created a legend. Here's one of the most fascinating parts of Bonnie Tyler's story. Her iconic raspy voice, the sound that made her famous, was completely accidental. In 1972, Tyler developed vocal cord nodules. She underwent surgery to remove them, but the operation didn't go as planned. The surgeon accidentally damaged her vocal cords, leaving her with a permanently husky, gravelly voice. The result? She acquired her distinctive gravelly vocals by accident, the result of a surgery to remove vocal cord nodules. What could have ended her career instead became her trademark. She was frequently dubbed the female Rod Stewart. Producers and record executives loved the unique sound. It set her apart from every other female singer of her era. She decided to embrace it, and the world fell in love with it. Rise to fame, the 1970s breakthrough. Bonnie Tyler first rose to fame in the 1970s with her pop album The World Starts Tonight in 1977. But it was her breakthrough hit that same year that made her an international star. In 1977, she released It's a Heartache. The song became a massive hit, reaching number 4 on the US Billboard Hot 100. It sold millions of copies worldwide and established Tyler as a force to be reckoned with. She followed it up with songs like Lost in France. She was becoming a star, but her biggest moment was still ahead. Her contract with RCA Records ended in 1981. Tyler needed a new direction. She found a new manager, David Aspton. And he had an idea. After seeing Meatloaf perform Bat Out of Hell live, Aspdin approached the writer behind the album, a brilliant, eccentric composer named Jim Steinman. That meeting would change everything. The 1980s total eclipse of the heart. Bonnie Tyler visited Jim Steinman in his New York apartment in April 1982. She explained that she wanted to create an album with the wall of sound production style of Phil Spector. She believed Steinman was the only person who could create that sound. Tyler recalled, "I just had shivers right up my spine. I couldn't wait to actually get in and record it." Steinman presented her with 2 tracks, Have You Ever Seen the Rain? And Going Through the Motions. He later revealed that had Tyler not liked them, he would have rejected her request to collaborate. Weeks later, he performed Total Eclipse of the Heart for her, with Rory Dodd singing the iconic Turn Around refrain. The song was written to be a showpiece for her voice. Steinman later said, "I was trying to come up with a love song. I actually wrote that to be a vampire love song." Its original title was Vampires in Love. The song was released in 1983. It became a global phenomenon. It topped the UK singles chart and spent 4 weeks at number 1 in the United States. It sold over 6 million copies worldwide. The album, Faster Than the Speed of Night, sold over 5 million copies. Tyler had arrived at the pinnacle of pop stardom. The song was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance, holding out for a hero, more global hits. Following the success of Total Eclipse of the Heart, Tyler released another iconic hit in 1984, Holding Out for a Hero. Written and produced again by Jim Steinman, the song was featured in the hit film Footloose. It became another global smash and has remained a staple of 1980s pop culture ever since. The song's dramatic theatrical style perfectly complemented Tyler's powerful raspy voice. It was the perfect follow-up. In 2013, Tyler represented the UK at the Eurovision Song Contest, finishing 19th. In 2023, she was appointed an Officer of the Order of the British Empire, OBE, for her services to music. It was a well-deserved honour for a woman who had given 5 decades to the music industry. Husband. The 5-2-year marriage. Now let me talk about the most important person in Bonnie Tyler's life, her husband, Robert Sullivan. Bonnie met Robert in 1970 at a nightclub in Swansea, Wales. She was working her way through the local music scene. He was a club manager. She later said, "I think the secret to our success is that we met before I was famous." The couple dated for 4 years before marrying on the 14th of July 1973. Bonnie was 22 years old. She once told The Guardian, "I married Robert, my first serious boyfriend, in 1973. I am still very much in love with him and he with me. We never fall out. He is very easy on the eye, which helps." Robert was not just Bonnie's husband, he had an impressive background of his own. He represented Great Britain in judo at the 1972 Munich Olympics in the men's half-middleweight division. After his athletic career, he became a property developer. Bonnie credited his business instincts with helping them build a substantial real estate portfolio over the years. She told The Times in 2011 that property was their best investment. The couple spent much of their time between South Wales and the Algarve in Portugal, where they owned a home. Bonnie's husband is also related to a Hollywood star. Sullivan is a cousin of actress Catherine Zeta-Jones's father, making Tyler a relative of the Oscar-winning actress. Children. The heartbreak of miscarriage. Bonnie Tyler and Robert Sullivan never had children. But it wasn't for lack of wanting. In a 2012 interview with The Guardian, Tyler opened up about the heartbreaking reason. She said, "When we got married, we said we'd wait 7 years before starting our own, but by that time, my career was massive. We put it off until I was 39 and he was 41. I suddenly felt maternal then, so it just felt the right time." She got pregnant quickly, but after 2.5 months, she suffered a miscarriage. She called it bloody awful at the time. They tried again for 2 years. Nothing happened. They decided it wasn't meant to be. Tyler shared this with The Times in 2025. We don't have children because we left it too late to stop taking precautions, and then I had a miscarriage when I was 40. I was unlucky, but I love all my nieces and nephews. Despite the heartbreak, Bonnie found joy in her extended family. She had 5 godchildren, 16 nieces and nephews, and 12 great-nieces and great-nephews. She once said, "Our house in Mumbles is like Paddington Station because everyone wants to come and visit Auntie Gaynor." Net worth, the $40 million legacy. So how much was Bonnie Tyler worth? At the time of her death, Bonnie Tyler had an estimated net worth of $40 million. Her fortune was accumulated over more than 5 decades through record sales, worldwide touring, music licensing, royalties, and property investments. Her catalogue remained a major source of income. Songs like Total Eclipse of the Heart and Holding Out for a Hero continued generating revenue through streaming, film and television placements, advertising, and licensing decades after their original release. Property investments also formed a significant part of Tyler's wealth. She and her husband were linked to homes in Portugal and the United Kingdom. Their primary residence was a stunning villa in Portugal, estimated to be worth around $10 million. The couple also owned farmlands in Portugal and New Zealand, and more than 60 horse stables in Lambourne, Berkshire. Bonnie leaves behind her husband Robert, who is now the sole heir to her estate. Tributes, The World Reacts. When news of Bonnie Tyler's death broke, tributes poured in from around the world. Catherine Zeta-Jones, who is related to Bonnie through her husband Robert, led the tributes. She posted on Instagram, "My heart is broken with the news that our dearest Bonnie Tyler has passed away." Wales Secretary Joe Stevens paid tribute. "A Welsh music icon, Grammy and Brit Award winner, and the sound of my teenage years." A Downing Street spokesman said UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer was saddened to hear about the death of one of Britain's greatest recording artists. Fans around the world flooded social media with memories. Many shared how Total Eclipse of the Heart was their first dance at their wedding. Others remembered singing it at the top of their lungs in their bedrooms. Bonnie Tyler's voice defined a generation. And the tributes reflected the impact she had on millions of lives. Legacy, a voice that will never be forgotten. Bonnie Tyler died on the 8th of July 2026. She was 75 years old. She died from complications following a ruptured appendix and intestinal surgery, a health battle that began in May 2026 and ended with her passing in a hospital in Portugal. But her death is not the end of her story. She was a coal miner's daughter from Wales who became a global superstar. A woman whose accidental husky voice became one of the most recognizable sounds in music history. She survived a surgery that could have ended her career and turned it into a trademark. She recorded songs that have stood the test of time: Total Eclipse of the Heart, Holding Out for a Hero, It's a Heartache. She was a wife to Robert Sullivan for 52 years. A woman who experienced the heartbreak of miscarriage but found joy in her extended family. A Grammy nominee. A Eurovision representative, an Obe recipient, a legend. Bonnie Tyler once said, "I hope people remember me as someone who gave 100%. She did exactly that. Bonnie Tyler may have left this world, but her voice, that unmistakable, soulful, raspy voice, will never stop singing. Rest in peace, Bonnie. Turn around, bright eyes. If this tribute touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share your favorite Bonnie Tyler song in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.